body is pretty much the first thing is focusing on the abdomen. But as you refine the abdomen, you're also noticing your heart, and you're noticing so much about internally how you wake up in the morning. So that the one morning that you realize something is wrong, yeah, you realize you're gonna see Jesus very soon.
Having that kind of an internal knowledge seems like
It's cool. Uh, you know, COVID, they didn't realize the value of their breath until they're on a ventilator. They didn't realize the value of their breath until that's all they had left was the last couple breaths that they had left.
I would feel it would be scary. Well, maybe if I am on the point where I know my breath so good that I know that I'm going to die, maybe I have meditated a lot and I'm pretty certain that I do not approach death
Yeah.
with fear. But I don't know, like if right now I were to know my breath and know that is my last breath, I would be like dead scared.
Right.
Like this is the end. Like that's it. Like
Right. Right. So part of our practice is to go to the cemeteries and lay down and to stay in the cemeteries for long. That was our original home. It's the forest and the cemetery. In the old days of our old teachers, that was their home, was the cemetery. And the monastery was the place where people bring bodies to burn. So it was a crematory. It was a home for monks, a crematory. Until this day, it still is. So we accustom ourselves to be comfortable with death. The more you're exposed to it, the less fear you have of it.
but I don't know, like being exposed to a lot of that would get like onto me. Like I've never encountered like death closely. Like I think like one grandpa has died, but I was not even close to him, and I'm not really that close to death. I haven't met him. Like, I know I have taken risk, and I have moments when I feel like on another life I definitely died, but I've never like encountered that. So I don't know like when I finally get to see that, how will I react? And I don't know like if I want to get close to people dying. Like in a hospital, I wouldn't be able to live there because of the vibe that there's literally people living.
It's easy for me because, well, in the textbook I've already explained how they die, why they die, or things leading up to their death. So life is all about responsibility. I mean, you're in your 20s. Eventually, as you mature in age, and if you notice and pay attention to stories, you're gonna realize, yeah, Tom, Dick, and Harry lived like this. That's why they died like this. Just watch for those who give more and take less. They die very peacefully. They die in their sleep. They don't know. They're united with God. They take favorable rebirth. They don't really suffer.
And who does it count to take from? For example, does taking represents only people or represents also the earth? Because if
What do you mean
taking from the earth, yes, because you have to give more than you take. So I want to give more than I take. Does that limit to humans or the whole planet? For example, if we limit that to humans, is I have some money, I donate, and I sometimes receive charity and whatever. But if we like go back to the planet, like what am I getting from the planet? I am getting air, I am getting food, and I am getting a lot of things. So I think like my debt to the planet, if we're like talking about giving more than I receive, I have already received a lot. Like I have been blessed with a lot of things, and even though I have lived wrongings, I have been giving more than I think I will be ever able to repay. Not even to people, but if I have to repay the planet for what it has done for me to allow me to exist, I won't be able to fulfill the give more than I take because I have already taken more than I will ever be able to give.
In Buddhism, when it comes to the environment and planet, the Buddha says we don't harm our environment or our planet. It's giving us oxygen to breathe and the nourishment and all of the good things. When it comes to giving more and taking less, in Buddhism, you want to give to those who are worthy of gifts, which is holy people. because they're the one that's liberating other people. You can't give to a tree. You can't bring, French fries to a tree, and then let the French fry decompose, and then you're like, I gave back to Mother Nature. Yeah, but that tree can't liberate people. It is by and through the holy order, holy men, who uses their capacity of speaking and talking and relating and teaching the Four Noble Truth to liberate other human beings, so that they can also liberate more human beings, thousands and millions.
But for example, right now, my karma debt with you is greater because you have given me some battery to charge my phone. You have borrowed it to me, so you have essentially given it to me. And what have I taken from you? I have taken knowledge, I have taken the battery, and I think I have taken valuable things from you. And what can I give? Well, I think I can give some introspection on my life and whatever, but that's like on my side. But on your side, what you're giving me, I am not holy and I do not liberate people, so
So the first thing is to define a gift. A gift is giving something and not expecting anything back. The greatest gift I've given you today is the gift of knowledge. I don't expect anything back. And it's up to you to give that knowledge back to another person. That's the best gift that you can give. Not money, not material things. That's the greatest gift. The Buddha says there is no other gift that excels the gift of the Dhamma. And the Dhamma is knowledge to liberate people. It's the greatest gift you can give. Even if you were a billionaire, a billion euros, forget it. You're not going to be able to liberate people, maybe comfortably, materially for a time, but that's why you see teachings that alleviate suffering, both Catholic world or even Buddhism, lives for so long, thousands of years, more than 2,000 years. It's because they're able to transcend suffering in such a way.
so right now, would you feel I am on a debt or we're even on my karma with you?
I don't even think about it. You do, I don't.
Yeah, because I am
Notice
young.
that-
I am young and stupid, and
Just imagine, right? Just imagine if I'm a monk going around teaching to people, and then I keep track of each person I talk to and how much I've given to these people, and they don't give back. I wouldn't look this young. I'm 37. I don't look 37. I give and then I just forget about it, and then I forget a lot of things. Sometimes I even forget my own name.
and for example, do you acknowledge when you receive things?
Oh yes, absolutely. I always get a kick out of people who give, because to me they're saints by virtue of giving generosity. Because I see the world being so greedy that, even when someone gives me a piece of candy, I know that they're battling greed. So it's like the Buddha says there's 3 poisons in humanity: greed, anger, and ignorance. How do you get rid of greed? By giving more and taking less. Give to whoever, I don't care. Give to the hospital, go volunteer. Because you're giving something, you're giving your time. And in Buddhism, it doesn't mean you have to give money. Never. It's about dedicating your body, speech, and mind for the benefit of other people. Think nice things about other people, say nice things, hold the door for someone, using your body for the benefit of others. So when someone gives or do something nice, I realize that they're slowly, incrementally battling greed. We all have greed. We all have the desires. And when it comes to anger, we battle that with loving kindness, meditation. Right? So there are methods on how to conquer these defilements.
Right now, I can acknowledge that you have given me knowledge. I can see that you have given me, and I can be grateful of your unexpected, you don't want anything in return from me. But do you feel that I have given you knowledge too? Or is my saying not knowledge? The exchange we're having, is this, would you say we're having an exchange on knowledge, or it is one way? Because I know definitely this way, but I don't know if like with the things you know and the way where you're spiritually, like if you feel that I am doing something to your way.
So when you came, you saw me busy on the phone or iPad here, and I was doing stuff, and there was homework that I was going to do, and clearly I could make any excuse between the time that you sat down, and in between those times, I could have ended the conversation or get up and move and leave. I even had laundry here for my dad to bring back to the thingy. And the reason why I stayed was because it was a mutual encounter, exchange of information that is useful for both parties. What you got was useful for you because you were curious. What I got out of you was information about a 20-year-old and how they think. Generational research, no different than 2 hours ago there was two college students from Maryland in the United States that sat with me right there to tell me about their traveling abroad program, right? So my degree in college was human development, studying from birth to death. So it's important that I pay attention to the group bracket of 20-year-olds so that I can counsel other 20-year-olds to see how you think, feel, and behave. So I also accumulate knowledge from you know, and we know how to compartmentalize age, religion, ethnicity, and all that stuff like that as researchers.
But I don't think I am like a good example on that side. Like you told me like I'm somewhat mature, so isn't that like a bad example for me to you? Because it's like this dude is an outlier in my statistics. This dude is not my norm. This dude is not the average 10-year-old. So maybe the advice that works for him is not working for the 20-year-olds I want to help.
So that's up to the researcher to decide where they would fit in the amount of humans that a monk encounters profile, the demographic and profile of it. Not everyone is the same. I mean, if everyone was dumb, that would be boring. If everyone was smart, that would be boring. You need a variety of people in there with sets of values, beliefs, nature, style, disposition, temperaments, sets of beliefs, sets of challenges, and complexity of the mind, causes and conditions of the mind, in order to figure them out. Everything that I've gathered in my life, which is thousands of humans that I have encountered, I'm like AI, you know? It's like data in my head. And the next human that I encounter, I'm armed with that information to help them. If they're suicidal, if they're homicidal, you know? And it can be very challenging. I mean, I think on TV you see like hostage negotiators trying to negotiate someone to not rob a bank, to shoot someone, negotiate someone to get off a bridge and not jump, give them reasons to live. That's what I do, you know? In an instant, I can encounter someone who is suicidal. And I have to use everything that I know and be careful with my words to talk them out of it.
And does it always work? Has it always worked for you?
Most of the time, yeah. Because again, they think in their mind that things are permanent.
And
they're not going to change.
how do you cope when it doesn't work?
It's according to their karma.
So you did your best, you're a suicidal person. You are negotiating. You are doing everything that you know should be said. Like you have the right tools and you use the right tools, and yet it doesn't work out. And it was a karma for them, but for you, what does it imply? Does it get you doubt that maybe you're not prepared enough? Do you feel like somewhat of maybe I need to reflect more, or you're like how you approach when it doesn't work?
You see, smart people don't do foolish things. So when we're encountering people, there are traces of ignorance. That's why they're wanting to take their life, or they're going to do something foolish. It's pretty easy figuring people out, actually. People are actually very easy to figure out. It's not a big mystery and puzzle. I mean, Buddhism's been around for 2,600 years, 2,568 years to be exact. And the Buddha's given us all 84,000 teachings that we need, explanations that we need to figure out humans. So it's pretty easy. Um, as long as a person uses the best available science, wisdom, history, and knowledge that we know, you're good, you're golden. You did the best that you could, with the time that you had, with the people that you lived, in the place where you are. So if things go bad or go south, what can you do? This is where you were. This is the many people that was around you. If I don't have an assistant next to me, if I'm by myself trying to talk someone off a bridge, that's all I had to work with. I closed the chapter on that. I don't take it personal. It's hard not to take it personal. Because sometimes, in my younger days as a monk, I was like, they didn't call back. Maybe they're dead. The scary thing about being a monk online, social media monk, is that sometimes I really do sometimes I think a lot of people do in fact commit suicide. Just their profile just like delete. you go through, you've seen how many, like 30 something thousand on my Instagram. And I go to the messages and they're like, user not available. That means the either they deleted by choice,
Yeah.
or they really died. I have to sit with that. I have to go to bed with that. And at the end of the day, I comfort myself with the workings of karma. And I'm like, and exactly what the Buddha says, no one can save you, no one can, and no one may. You must save yourself. So the fact that I can talk someone off a bridge, this is just to buy them time to figure themselves out, give them another shot at home to rethink about their life and who they are. But completely absolve them from their sins or unskillful actions or karma. I can't really fully save someone. I'm not a saint. So, it just is. I find my life still rewarding, liberating people, or as much as I can. I can't liberate all 8 billion, but the many encounters like this, it's rewarding to me.
So you said that you can actually pretty easily figure people out. Does that work? Oh, well, yes, I answered myself, I think, because I was going to ask if it works for you, and I feel like, yes, of course, because you first figure yourself out and then you go out, and so I think that's like a question you answered. Yeah, like you like thinking you have you have actually answered that before. Like that's the first thing you do. You
The first question in figuring people out is, what do you want?
So
you know what I mean? When you ask people that, then they tell you what they want, and you're like, okay.
In that figuring out, have you figured me out, or or should I give you more questions, answers, or something?
No,
because that's my ego, just wanting to know, like, who am I in your eyes?
You were a stranger. You were a young stranger that came to this table because you were curious about who I was, what I do, life of a monk, what is Buddhism. That's it. It wasn't my job to probe. Right? You notice the design of my questions was designed to probe. Oh, tell me about your parents. Where are you from exactly? Which country? And how old were you? I didn't probe. Because it wasn't psychotherapy. It wasn't a therapy session. This was exploratory stage. For the exploratory stage, you kind of let the person who was curious ask the questions. And this side just answer the questions. Right? So, but it's fun. And I think, for me, it's easy where it's hard figuring people out is when they're quiet. And they've done something atrocious. Like terrorists, you know what I mean? Like, they do something atrocious and they're really quiet. So they have to bring in a bunch of FBI agents to figure this guy out. And they're like, who are you? What's your name? The guy won't say anything. So, can we have your fingerprints? And then they run fingerprints and they try to figure out. This guy's last name is Oswald or something. This is where he was.
So I'm again with my ego questions. I have talked a lot. I really want to know what you figured out about me. Like, I want to see how. I
think you're curious.
How well did I express myself? Who, in your building blocks, in your boxes, who am I?
Maybe curious. I think.
You're honest. You're honest and you're curious. I think you have a bunch more questions. I think you're still puzzled about life. Um, you know, it'll just take a lot of time for you to get the answers that you want. As consistent with someone who is in their 20s. Um, when I was in my 20s, I sat there and read a lot of newspapers and just focus on articles on life, death, and meaning of life and purpose of life. That was me. I didn't have anyone to talk to. It's very lonely being in the United States. So I had to find my answers through books, through articles, and paying attention and listening more and speaking less out in the world. But yeah, I think that you come across as an intelligent, young, curious young man. Perhaps could do a lot.
Trying to make sense in the chapters of your life.
And I think that if you know how to use your intelligence, you may be closer to enlightenment than you actually think.
My last question, because I have to, I'm sorry, I have
And I've
other-
been really blessed.
I've been really blessed in my life to meet intelligent people because it's terrible when there's no intelligence there. That means, so the Buddha gave us 2 guidelines. He says, number 1, be careful with people who are incapable of understanding the Four Noble Truth. And the second thing he said is, be careful if they have poor rules. So, we teachers always tend to screen humans for those 2 things. The first thing I look for is capability of understanding. So, yeah, I've been fortunate. I mean,
What happens when a person doesn't pass the test? Is he less human, or is he less savable? Or, like, it says avoid.
It poses tremendous amount of challenges for the teacher and tremendous amount of challenges for them because of their karma. Because of ignorance in their
So
past life.
being dumb is, being like physically dumb, like your brain like biologically cannot comprehend. That is like because of the karma of your previous life. So you're like you're paying with your karma, not being able to understand.
Yeah, so if a person is greater than 30 years old and they have difficulty comprehending, we're gonna have a big problem. I'm not sure what kind of problem it is, but some expert's gonna have to jump in there and figure out what's going on.
But typically there is neurological issues or brain damage. A lot of people also have severe anxiety from when they're younger, and that keeps them from
Understanding the present moment in their later stages. And when I function as an interpreter and I have to explain certain things to them, I'm able to trace instantly that they could understand because of anxiety. So that's minor. The more problematic ones or severe clinical challenges is neurobiological causes, organic causes. It's tough. This is the greatest asset you have in your life. In any human's life is their brain. And if their brain cannot understand, that's public health. But risk is one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Imagine police officers trying to explain to them, or they have an issue they can't explain
Yeah, but
to public safety. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but I've been fortunate in my life to meet a lot of intelligent students, so I'm able to opine that down the road, if you choose Buddhism or want to ordain, it would be an asset to our order.
nice.
But just don't use intelligence for evil. 'Cause
No, I think I
the
think I
FBI
am.
might find you.
I think I am past evil now.
The intelligence is a dangerous thing because it's a double-edged sword. You can use it to hack people, or like scam people, hack people, stuff that we see on the news all the time. Or you can use it for what? To liberate other people. And just like me, I mean, back in my younger days, I was mischievous, I was a bad boy. But I used my intelligence to turn my life around, to be a monk and to do good. Everyone has that capacity to be good or bad.
Well, I think I don't know. It was really great having the opportunity to I don't know.
Interview a monk.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Interview yes, but speaking with you, I don't know. It was like getting a snippet into what is Buddhism because like you saw I have some things maybe I figured by myself that I didn't know have a name already by Buddhists. And so getting to know that there exists this alternative on Buddhism, there is already a group of people that are thinking like this, and that I don't know. I feel like maybe I am not alone. I knowing that you're out there in the world trying to enlighten people gives me this sense of I don't know. There's good people out there.
There's hope.
There's hope. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's 8 billion people, and we need less suffering. We need more peace in the world. My goal is peace. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here wearing this uniform in Europe. Because, yeah, you don't see a lot of monks running around Europe. You see priests.
No, you're the
not
first
monks.
monk I've seen in my life, I told you.
Yeah. And the purpose of this uniform is to prompt curiosity, to encounter people, and to spread the message of peace, which is what I think every nation needs right now. Every nation has problems with immigration, with discrimination, hate, division, political divides. This is so crazy. Life is so short. I mean, you have, literally, if you think about it, 75 years of your life. 1/3 is spent sleeping. So you can just kind of take 25 years away, you know what I mean? And then growing up, that's another 25 years, and then working and studying. So you have 20 years, if even, to enjoy life. 20 years. And people are going to use that 20 years to fight and hate. Right? You do the math, 75 years, maximum. I'm 37 and I'm climbing some of these stairs and I'm like, back in my days, I was very fit. I did martial arts, I did security, I was fit, you know what I mean? I was a lifeguard. I'm 37, I'm climbing some of these stairs and I'm like, whew. Nonetheless, at 50, 60 years old, so there's a lot of foolishness in the world. If the Buddha sat here today, he would say, you all are foolish, fighting on nonsense, greed, anger, ignorance, nonsense. I think.
But wasn't that also true at his time?
True what?
Wasn't that statement true at his time?
Sure.
That the world was essentially at the same position when
Yes.
he existed?
It was, but you see, back in the Buddha's day, 2,600 years ago, people became saints after hearing one sentence. One sentence. A Buddha says one sentence, and you had a light bulb, ding, and you became a saint.
We don't know the sentence.
So now, 2,600 years later, everyone has a lawyer in their hand. What we teach and preach, they disagree. And they have an opinion of their own. So they never become enlightened. You know what I mean? So, the advancement of the mind made it more difficult for people to liberate themselves. And the problem is they don't see that. They don't see the fact that they are siding with their lawyer in their head keeps them from being fully happy.
So it was kind of like a burden to ourselves, the fact that we have more advanced capabilities of thinking. The fact that we're more rational and that we're more critical of our environment made us so the ideal state would be to have never thought in the first place, because if I never think, I am never obstructed of the way of enlightenment, and the more complex my thinking gets, the more rationale and the more reasoning and everything, so it's harder to accept this truth of enlightenment. So being a particle is the best existing for things, no?
I think it's important to be aware of the lawyer in your head. First and foremost, because everyone has it. Number one, know that everyone has it. That's how you figure other people out. Remember I told you, easy figuring people out because everyone has a lawyer in their head. And if you really wanted to figure people out, you start identifying the lawyer in their head. You know what I mean? Start identifying disagreements. That's how you know the lawyer in their head, the magnitude of that lawyer in their head. But the most important thing is to be aware of your own lawyer. And then as you are aware of that lawyer, you know exactly what he's telling you in the present moment that you're encountering things. People get themselves into trouble with judges all the time in America. And it's like, shut up. You know what I mean? Just shut up. You know, the Buddha said, if you have nothing good to say, don't say anything at all. You know, just look around you. You have all these things to say. And they're not mindful when they say it. Trouble all the time. So, yeah, I think we do just fine. Just look into it. You choose what works for you in the 84,000 teachings, compressed into the Four Noble Truths. 84,000 is compressed into the Four Noble Truths. So, websites like buddhanet.net, access to insight.org are good represented sites that you can find this information and see for yourself.
Yeah, because I hate to like put a block in the time. Like I have a hike at 7 a.m.
Sure, go rest.
So
Go rest.
I
Me
was
too. I have to rest.
I was going to Dolomites at 7 a.m. So I'm like sleeping 1 hour and 15 minutes
Me
right
too.
now.
I have to explore Venice with my dad tomorrow.